Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I got another Walking Dead video for you today. We got some theories and kind of some possibilities that I wanted to go over as far as how does Carol get to Daryl in France, because as we all know, she is in season 2 that is filming right now, that has just recently resumed filming of the Daryl Dixon series over in France. So let's get into that video right now. My first theory, and I think this is where a lot of people are kind of laying on it, is that the CRM is directly involved. There is a whole floating theory out there that, as we know, or as we think we know anyways, that when Daryl left the Commonwealth, he went out looking for Rick. Because we have that clue, or if you want to call it a confession or whatever, from Judith when she thought she was going to die after the big Walker attack within the Commonwealth when it was getting overrun and everything. She revealed to Daryl that Michonne actually went out looking for Rick because she found some clues or some indications that he was still alive. And Daryl, having, he sees Rick as his brother, as his survivor within the apocalypse, his best friend in the whole world. And he spent that 6 years within that time jump that we got after season 9, after Rick initially disappeared. He spent that whole 6-year time jump looking for Rick. And so to expect him to do any less after this information was revealed to him, that's just crazy that he would not go out looking for him. So after Walking Dead ended, we see him ride off into the distance on his motorcycle on a search for Rick. And so the whole thing that is floating around right now, as far as what happens to him and as far as how Carol even finds out where he is, how she even gets to him after she finds out where he is the thing we're going to kind of go over today. Because we see the part in the full trailer for Daryl Dixon, and I think we've seen it in a couple other teasers too, where it looks like whatever he's on, it looks to be a cargo ship, comes under attack or comes under distress, that he has to bail off. It's how he winds up on that overturned boat and washes to the shores of France. How he gets there and why anyways that he's on this boat or cargo ship or whatever, it kind of goes back further into the CRM. Did he get too close to something on his search for Rick? Did he get into a situation that he couldn't get out of as far as the CRM's involved? Because everyone's big theory out there is the CRM is completely responsible for why Daryl is over there. And not only that, for the sheer fact that he gets over there, because as we see and as we know from everything else about the Walking Dead universe, not a lot of people have access to cargo ships or helicopters or any kind of air transportation or large ship transportation that has the capability to make that cross-Atlantic quest to get over to France. And so I want to say that's probably the biggest one out there, the biggest number one theory, that the CRM is responsible for where Daryl is. Maybe they have outposts in France or just different outposts along the way that somehow get him tangled up with his search for Rick and everything and get him over there. And so here's kind of my second theory on how Carol gets to where he is and everything. Is it actually within the Commonwealth that she finds the resources or gets the word or is alerted to the fact that Daryl has gone missing on his quest for Rick? And so it kind of goes back to the end of The Walking Dead, where we saw this turd who brags about the fact that he has connections in higher places. And we always assumed it was the CRM that he was bragging about, that he would somehow remain in power or become more powerful within his position with the help of this other group or whatever. So I would say probably that is also a huge possibility, that somehow along the way that Daryl is on his search. Maybe he uses his connections within the Commonwealth. He somehow charters a ship, and it's at some point or another this ship gets attacked, or just someone simply dies on board, and we see this, what looks like to be a variant in the trailer and everything, and he has no choice but to bail, and that's how he ends up where he is, because he's already out to sea. But there's still kind of the argument that why would he be in international waters? Why would he be leaving the area unless he got some word or some clue or whatever that says Rick is not within the country? Or there's also one of the bigger theories too, that Daryl got too close to something and he was taken against his will. And this all points towards the CRM, because we've seen bits and pieces of them throughout the World Beyond series that they are not nice people, for lack of a better word. They are they're assholes. And we saw that they destroyed Omaha and they destroyed the college campus colony, and they just will go after anyone that can be a threat to their way of life, or the fact that they have a community or a civilization that's roughly 200,000 people. So we see that the CR military has nefarious motivations. They are not to be trusted, and we see just bits and pieces of that through the world beyond. We see what they're willing to do to protect their military, protect their way of doing things, their projects, their research, anything that can compromise that, they go and wipe it out. So the CRM is probably the biggest theory out there, that they're involved. They are the reason why Daryl is over there. So that's really the best way I think we can explain that Carol gets over there, through connections, through CRM, through Commonwealth, because I don't see any other way that she can make it across the Atlantic, or whatever route she takes, getting over to Daryl. And just how, also, I guess the big question is, how would she get word of that other than through these connections? Because he went on his own. There's no one out there that has his back, unless at some point after he leaves, maybe she starts trailing him. Maybe she really takes it upon herself to keep an eye on him. We saw a little bit of tease and everything with the teasers and with the trailers and with the leaks that are coming out of them shooting now the second season of Daryl Dixon, that he has his motorcycle, he has his crossbow, and if he was shipwrecked and everything, how did he get these things? Is Carol responsible for getting them back to him? How does she get these things back to him unless she has some driving force behind her, some sort of resources that she's able to get these things transported to where he is? So it's something I'm really hoping they answer, at least partially, within the first few episodes or just the first season of Daryl Dixon. How he gets over there, how Carol gets word of him being over there, and how she gets to him. Because that is going to be the big mystery surrounding probably up until the end of the first season. When we get the second season, that is revealed that she is there somehow or another. You could probably say, hey, maybe she made it back to him or he made it home, but that theory gets kind of squashed because they've resumed filming of that show, and the only way they've been able to do that, based upon the agreement that they had with the SAG-AFTRA and everything, is they can only do that because it was shooting overseas. There's certain clauses or certain aspects within that agreement that don't apply to them while they're working overseas. So anyways, I think that will do it. So that was kind of just a theory video I wanted to throw your way. See what you thought. How does Carol get there? How does Daryl end up there in the first place? There's just a lot of these things that people have been wondering since this show was announced, because it was originally, as you know, supposed to be Daryl and Carol. No, it was supposed to be their spinoff series. Then Melissa McBride bailed because she just couldn't bring herself to continue filming this character and then be overseas to do it. And so I guess she just couldn't stay away very long, because now here we go, she's back into it and ready to take on this character again and hopefully take it in a direction that's believable. So if you enjoyed this video, you enjoy the type of stuff that I make, please leave a like down below, please leave comments, and as always, if you feel so inclined, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. So until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.